So imagine you're standing in this like totally pristine, untouched field, beautiful grass, and you just watch someone back up a truck and dump a massive load of toxic garbage right onto the ground.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's infuriating just thinking about it.
Right. I mean, society dictates that you have to intervene. You stop them, you report them, you prevent the damage.
Exactly, that's just basic morality.
But the radical translated text we are diving into today, well, it argues that stepping in to stop them doesn't just violate their free will. Um, it actively robs you of the cosmic merit of cleaning it up.
It's such a wild concept. I mean, it is a deliberate subversion of our most basic moral instincts.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive, by the way.
Thanks, I'm really excited to get into this one.
Same here. So we are looking at a document written by Su Feng in December of 2020, and it's titled, Put Your Finite Life into the Infinite Service of All Living Beings.
Which is quite the title, and it outlines this totalizing framework for existence that demands, honestly, an almost unimaginable level of self-sacrifice.
Yeah, unimaginable is the word. But before we go any further, just a really quick note to you listening.
Should call.
Yeah, because this text touches on some really sweeping religious ideas. It demands radical wealth redistribution, and it references some highly specific, agonizing social tragedies.
Right. And our mission today is not to take sides here.
Exactly. We aren't endorsing the theology or the politics of this text. We're just here to impartially explore the sheer mechanics of the perspective the author has laid out.
Because, I mean, love it or hate it, it forces a complete reevaluation of what a human life is actually for.
It really does. So let's jump in. Where do we even start with this?
Well, the foundational premise of the text, it leaves absolutely no room for interpretation. It argues that a person's entire moral value, like their whole pattern of existence and ultimate destiny, it's measured by one absolute metric.
And that metric is just service, right?
Right, the quantity and the quality of their service to other living beings. It's framed as this ultimate shortcut to what the author calls the sublimation of life.
The sublimation of life.
Yeah. And it's presented as the singular entry point to heaven. It creates this universal baseline that's meant to apply equally across all traditions. Christians, Buddhists, followers of celestials, saints, sages, everyone.
That phrase, sublimation of life, it really caught my attention because, in chemistry, sublimation is when a solid turns directly into a gas. Right?
Oh, right. Like dry ice.
Exactly. It bypasses the liquid phase entirely. It's this incredibly rapid, profound transformation. And the text suggests this spiritual sublimation happens, well, long before you even figure out the logistics of how to serve.
Right. It's not about the action first. It's about the mindset.
Yeah. The author asserts that the exact moment a person stops caring about personal gain or loss or success, and they just commit their whole soul to infinite service, they immediately join the company of gods and saints.
Instantaneously.
Yeah.
The transition isn't gradual at all. I mean, the text describes a complete and instantaneous dissolution of the ego.
Just gone.
It's just gone. The moment the self ceases to be the center of gravity, your mind broadens infinitely. The text claims your real spirit and virtue concentrate within you, and you establish roots in something far larger than your individual identity.
Reading that section, it felt less like putting on a pair of X-ray glasses to see the world differently, and more like finally taking off a VR headset.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right. Because you aren't gaining a superpower to see through walls. You are simply removing the ego's software that was like rendering the illusion of those walls in the first place.
That's exactly it. And the text claims this shift opens your Dharma eyes.
Dharma eyes. Okay, unpack that for us.
Well, within the context of this specific text, opening those Dharma eyes grants you the ability to see the true nature of reality completely without the distortion of personal desires.
Because you don't want anything anymore.
Exactly. When you have nothing to protect, no property to guard, no reputation to uphold, no pride to defend, you literally have no reason to be deceived by the complicated phenomena of the world.
Your perception just becomes mechanically clear.
Mechanically clear, yeah.
And the author gets highly specific about what that clarity actually reveals, right? I mean, he claims you can suddenly see gods, monsters, ghosts, and goblins.
It goes all in on the cosmology.
It really does.
Yeah.
But practically speaking, it says you could look at another person and see their true origins.
Right.
Like you can perceive whether they descended from a heavenly realm or if they reincarnated from the animal world. You can instantly distinguish truth from falsehood. And you know exactly which paths lead to heaven and which lead to hell.
It completely strips away the ambiguity of human behavior. But If shedding the ego's software reveals the stark truth of reality, the immediate next problem for the reader is figuring out where to direct this newfound capacity for service.
Who are we actually serving?
Exactly.
And the text definition of who we are serving is vastly broader than just humanity.
Massively broader.
It defines living beings as all lives created by the greatest creator and by gods and celestial beings according to divine drawings. Serving them is synonymous with serving the creator.
Right, so you are effectively serving the divine by serving a plant.
Which is a huge theological implication.
It really is. It explicitly loops in microorganisms, insects, plants, and all land and water animals.
All of them.
Yeah. The text establishes this sweeping environmental mandate. It requires mentally shifting your baseline so you never even consider hurting beings. You only cherish and pity them.
So no more squishing spiders in the house.
Definitely not. It demands the active protection of grass, forests, mountains, and rivers. And it explicitly says to plant trees and flowers.
It also forbids mistreating animals, obviously, or slaughtering them. No eating wild animal meat. And it demands the creation of suitable environments where no lives have their existence cut short.
Which is a beautiful thought, but...
Right, to pause on the practicality of that for a second. It's one thing to say, I will dedicate my life to serving humanity. We know how to do that, right? We build hospitals, we run food banks.
we have systems for that.
Exactly. But how does a modern person function if they are constantly terrified of stepping on an insect or, like, harming a microorganism? Doesn't that just induce a paralyzing level of anxiety?
Well, I think that assumes we are meant to micromanage every single biological interaction.
Which is impossible.
Right. It's totally impossible. The underlying logic here challenges our deeply ingrained anthropocentric worldview.
The idea that humans are the main characters of the universe.
Precisely. It's about shifting from an ownership model of the Earth to essentially a tenancy model.
Oh, interesting. We're just renting this space.
Exactly. Destroying a habitat isn't just an ecological misstep in this framework. It is a direct offense against the creator's design. So you aren't commanded to build a hospital for an ant.
Good, because I'm not very handy.
Right. But you are commanded to adopt a posture of profound reverence for its right to exist and to thrive within its own architecture. It moves the mandate from doing things for nature to ensuring the space for nature.
Ensuring the space. Okay, that makes sense. But nature is relatively easy to romanticize, though.
That's true.
A tree isn't going to lie to you or steal from you. The real friction happens when this philosophy collides with the complexities of human society.
Oh, absolutely.
The text sharply narrows its focus to human suffering. It demands protection for the honest and immense compassion for the vulnerable widows, orphans, childless couples, and the toiling masses.
And to be fair, those are pretty standard ethical directives found in a lot of philosophical traditions.
True, but the text doesn't let the reader rest in abstract charity, right?
Yeah.
It deploys a highly aggressive psychological mechanism to ensure you actually comply.
Aggressive is the perfect word for it.
Yeah. It demands that you remember the tragic deaths of Yang Galan's 6 family members every single day.
Yeah, that part is heavy.
For context for you listening, this refers to a horrific, very heavily publicized tragedy. A mother living in crushing, inescapable poverty took the lives of her children and herself.
Just a total failure of society on every conceivable level.
Exactly. And the text demands you run the image of that specific, agonizing failure through your mind daily.
Right. It is using horrific emotional pain as a utility, like a fuel source. The author absolutely refuses to let the reader look away from the ugliest consequences of human selfishness.
You can't just look away.
No, you are instructed to carry that specific grief with you. And the point is to ensure your drive to liberate the public from their cages of worry and pain never becomes abstract or complacent.
It forces systemic trauma to become your personal engine.
Exactly. It turns empathy into a literal compulsion.
You are commanded to treat the public's happiness and feelings as your own. But there is a demand in this section that absolutely stops you in your tracks.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Right. To walk this path, the text requires taking service to an extreme. You must own absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
No material wealth, no landed properties, forests, houses, water areas, or money. Zero.
Absolute, uncompromising material poverty.
And I really struggle with the sheer mechanics of this. I mean, for a person living in the modern world, trying to actually help people, doesn't extreme poverty render you incapable of the very service the text is demanding?
How do you mean?
Well, functionally, right.
Yeah.
A billionaire can build a wing of a hospital and save 1,000 lives. A person with zero assets cannot shelter the unhoused or buy medicine for a sick child.
Right. That's a very logical Western way of looking at it. But that assumes the ultimate goal of the text is economic efficiency or measurable philanthropic output.
Okay, so what is the goal then?
The author isn't concerned with maximizing modern charitable supply chains. The text views material accumulation of any kind as a structural barrier to those dharma eyes we talked about.
Ah, right, the clear vision.
Exactly. Property creates a border. It says, this is mine and that is yours. Wealth creates anxiety because I have to protect what I have.
Okay, I get that on a spiritual level. But you're still choosing your own spiritual purity over the tangible, physical needs of the people you're supposed to be serving, aren't you?
That's the tension, yeah.
Because if someone is freezing out in the cold, they don't need your dissolved ego. They need you to own a house so you can invite them inside.
From a utilitarian standpoint, that logic holds up perfectly. You're completely right. But within this specific cosmological framework, being a wealthy philanthropist keeps the ego entirely intact.
Because you're the one in charge.
Right. Perhaps it even inflates it. You remain the savior, and they remain the saved. You retain all the power in that dynamic.
Oh, wow. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah. Owning nothing destroys that hierarchy completely. You cannot truly treat the public's happiness as your own if you are secretly guarding a private safety net. The poverty is the mechanism that destroys the boundary between the self and the universe.
Okay, so you commit to this. Let's say you do it. You own nothing. You carry the mental weight of horrific social tragedies as your daily fuel. You dissolve your ego, and you spend your entire life in infinite service to everything from your neighbor to the microorganisms in the soil.
Sounds exhausting, right?
Yes. Any reasonable person would expect this path to be absolutely miserable. You would expect to be crushed by the sheer weight of the world's suffering.
Yet the author insists that embarking on this road should make you thrilled.
Thrilled.
Thrilled. You are expected to be completely free from anxiety, sorrow, or fear.
But how is that psychologically possible? I mean, you are owning nothing and staring at tragedy all day.
Well, the text explains that this joy comes from handing yourself over entirely to the Tao, the fundamental truth of the universe.
Just surrendering to it.
Exactly. But to maintain that state of joy, you have to follow a strict rule of engagement with the world. And this is a rule that brings us right back to the scenario we started the deep dive with.
Ah, the garbage dumper.
Yes, the garbage dumper.
The text gives this vivid example outlining an absolute mandate of non-interference. It says if someone dumps garbage in a field, you clean it up. If they dump it again, you clean it again.
Over and over.
And crucially, you do not get angry. You do not feel resentful.
Yeah.
And you absolutely do not stop them.
It's what?
It reads like a peaceful spiritual version of the myth of Sisyphus, pushing the boulder up the hill for all eternity.
It really is the most counterintuitive concept in the entire text. I mean, why on earth not stop the bad actor?
Right. Why let them keep polluting?
Well, the author provides two rationales. The first one hinges on a really radical interpretation of free will. The text argues that you have neither the reason nor the qualifications to block others from walking your chosen path.
Even if that path is destructive.
Even if it's destructive.
But isn't non-interference just a spiritualized form of complicity?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by letting them pollute, you are allowing harm to the very habitats and microorganisms we just established are divine.
It seems like a huge paradox.
Right. You are watching the creator's design be offended, and you're doing nothing to prevent the offense.
It feels like a massive contradiction until you look at the second rationale. And this one fundamentally alters the relationship between good and evil in this entire framework.
Okay, lay it on me.
The text asks, without others dumping their garbage, how would we gain our merits from cleaning it up?
Wait, really?
Yes.
So the bad actor isn't the enemy.
No.
The bad actor is the necessary condition for your own elevation.
Yeah.
If the world were perfectly clean, you couldn't earn the cosmic merit of cleaning it.
It flips the script entirely, doesn't it?
Completely.
The text describes our mortal world, the Earth, as a transit station.
A transit station, like an airport?
Basically, it is a hub for upper and lower levels of life. You have entities arriving from higher heavenly realms and entities arriving from lower animalistic realms, all just mixing together in this one temporary location. Everyone is just playing out a specific script.
So you shouldn't be surprised when people act terribly.
Right. The text explicitly tells the reader not to expect everyone to be a saint. You shouldn't expect evil and barbarism to disappear. or even for people to become civilized.
Which, in a strange way, completely removes the burden of saving the world.
Exactly.
You aren't tasked with fixing the system or forcing everyone to be good. You are only tasked with playing your specific role perfectly.
That's the key. The garbage dumper plays their part, and the saint who cleans it up plays theirs. Together, all these different kinds of life maintain what the author calls the dynamic balance of the universe.
Dynamic balance.
Yeah, that friction between creation and destruction, between selfishness and service, that is what keeps the cosmic machinery functioning.
That is heavy. But it makes a bizarre kind of sense within the framework.
It does.
And the author leaves the reader with a final stark thought experiment to just really crystallize this mission.
The 99 versus 1.
Yeah. Suppose there were only 100 people on Earth, and 99 of them decided to follow their selfish egos, walking the path of accumulation, self-interest, and personal gain.
The default path for a lot of people.
Right. The command in the text is absolute. You must refuse to follow the crowd, even if you are the only one left.
Even if you look crazy to everyone else.
Exactly. The road of the crowd is the road to destruction, and you have to keep a clear mind and stick to the road of serving all living beings.
That thought experiment reveals the ultimate paradox at the heart of this entire philosophy. The author states, selflessness can accomplish oneself.
Selflessness can accomplish oneself.
Yeah, to truly find yourself, to truly elevate your existence to that higher frequency, the self must be entirely given away. It has to be dissolved into the infinite service of others. That is the required toll to exit the transit station and enter heaven.
Wow. It is just an incredibly demanding framework to sit with. And for you listening, it really forces a reflection on that finite life the title mentions.
It really does.
Because we all have a finite, rapidly depleting amount of time, energy, and focus. Where are you directing yours? Are you playing the default game of accumulation, or are you finding ways to pour that finite energy into something infinite?
It's the big question. And, if we accept the premise of this text, we have to grapple with the implications of that dynamic balance we talked about.
Right, the friction.
Yeah. We established that the saint needs the garbage dumper to earn merit, and that the transit station relies on this constant friction between higher and lower states of being.
Yeah.
So if our world actually requires those bad actors to give the selfless an opportunity to do good and to maintain cosmic equilibrium, does that mean a perfect utopic world without suffering would actually stall our spiritual evolution?
Oh, wow.
Do we require the darkness to have the mechanism to create the light?